The night of the raid is still vivid for village religious leader Imam SUFFIAN, who was coming back from evening prayers at the mosque.
When I returned, I saw police all over the place with machine guns looking like M16. I saw a dark van where Sheikh Aiman and others were being taken away with their heads covered and they were handcuffed.
They had surrounded a house that the Imam rented out to his neighbor for Islamic studies.
Syrian academic Ayman al-Dakak held weekly religious classes here at this house. It's just meters away from where he lives with his family. It was during one of those classes that police conducted the raid, arresting dozens of students, including him and his son, who are still in custody.
They were all taken to this police training center in Kuala Lumpur city center. Most were released after a few hours of questioning.
We were interrogated mainly about Ayman al-Dakak. They asked what he was doing in Malaysia and what was his occupation. They also wanted to know what we were learning in class and if he had any plans.
The men were arrested under Malaysia's Internal Security Act, or ISA, which allows for indefinite detention without trial. According to human rights groups, they come from Malaysia, Jordan, Yemen, Nigeria and Syria. The Malaysian government is yet to lay out the charges against those still detained.
The number that have been detained is 10. All 10 involves terrorists and involves networking with international terrorist organizations. We're working very closely with the international agencies.
Unlike many of its neighboring countries, Malaysia has avoided any major attacks. But the country has faced its own connections with extremism. In 2000, members of the Filipino Abu Sayyaf group abducted 21 hostages from the Malaysian island diving resort of Sipadan. They were all eventually released. The U.S. 9/11 Commission report claims there was a high-level meeting of al-Qaeda operatives in Malaysia prior to the September 11 attacks that killed almost 3,000 people. Nordin Top, who masterminded a string of bombings in Indonesia, including the 2002 Bali bombings, which killed over 200 people, was Malaysian. For years, he used the country to hide from authorities. Local media have linked these arrests to the attempted bombing of a flight from Amsterdam to Detroit on Christmas Day. The Malaysian government has refused to comment on the claims. Amar Hamza Arshad is a human rights lawyer who has been trying to gain access to the detainees.
We can't help but speculate that perhaps this is trying to ward off pressure from the international community that we are harboring or giving protection to potential or would-be terrorists.
Most of those still in detention were studying at the International Islamic University Malaysia, which now seems certain to face closer scrutiny over its students' backgrounds. Malaysia has long had an open-door policy for visitors from the Middle East. That policy may now be coming under increasing international pressure and turning an unwanted spotlight on the country. Divya Gopalan, Al Jazeera, Kuala Lumpur.